online. All systems normal.
God, he's coming back. Get out of here. Okay. Oh my god, I should have started this like an hour, or almost 2 hours ago now. I've been hanging out in Legendary Drops chat, just having a conversation for a little bit. Um, but I finally decided that I need to actually go work on my book. For any of you wondering, possibly wondering, what I might be talking about is I'm working on a Battletech fan novel that I've been working on for a little while. It is available through the Patreon to be able to take a look at if anybody's ever interested. But I can give you a little sneak peek at it as we're going along here as I continue to do some writing and I eat an ice cream sandwich because I can. Delicious. Oh boy. Look at all these notes I got on this pad. I gotta find where I was. Okay, so it's not actually this notepad. Let's see, another notepad here. Nope, not that one either. I'm like 90% sure it's not this one. So many notes. So many physical notes. God. Well, you made a very good point while I was in there in Legendary Drops chat. Like, am I boring? I don't know if I'm boring necessarily. I probably can be at times. I guarantee it. I can just be a dull fucking person. But I'm just a dude on the internet, just like everybody else is, for the most part. And it's also to say that, you know, most of us are dudes on the internet. Not everybody. Delicious. Ice cream sandwich cookie. How wonderful. So it would be helpful if I could find my notes, which I thought were on my desk, but they are not. I'm gonna have to go searching around. Heck is this? This had to be notes from a D&D game at some point or another. It's just been crinkled up in my bag. Yeah, it's kind of a hilarious thing to think about. I have been playing D&D now for just about 15 years. It started way, way back in the day. But even then, it's still only like a drop in the bucket in comparison to, you know, the entire history of D&D itself and like what has transpired in between then. I mean, we were talking about recently, you know, the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons had just come along. Sadly though, it's not being represented in the way that most people would hope it would be. You know, aspiring odes to the creators and the people who made it. You know, a bright outlook on the future, a positive mindset going forward. Unfortunately, it's faced with, at the moment, tons of vitriol and hate and, you know, indecisiveness and a myriad of other conditions that make it feel as though we're not all on the same page anymore. It's rather sad because I don't think anybody who's ever had the pleasure of having a role-playing group full of friends and people around them, even if they're strangers too, who have been able to enjoy a role-playing experience. They should feel a sense of camaraderie, a sense of pride in what they do in terms of being able to accomplish something within the imagination that they get to create. And yet so often people want to criticize or expose or create malice or mire any which direction as to how somebody does something, no matter what it is. Whether good or bad, whether relevant or not. It's this this condition of just nonsense that people bring up that has nothing to do with what they're talking about or how they're interacting with people or how they're perceiving things. It's all about me, 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 me. I'm the special interest. I am the special this. I am the special that. And you want to feel special. But to feel special is to also be in a backdrop of special things and special conditions and special existence in a special world that is fantasy, fiction, all the pleasantries of something different and unique. You can't have those without making some sacrifices along the way. Having a moral integrity as to what you're doing. You're allowed to tell your own story, but by sending constraints, giving yourself pressure, build within the boundaries that you've created for yourself, where the magic really happens. And to lose that aspect is always horrible. So yeah, watching, you know, the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons come and go without so much as a laugh or chuckle, or no sense of jovialness towards it, does feel incredibly sad. And that kind of existence just sucks. And it makes me feel really bad about it. Not because it's anybody's fault necessarily, though we can certainly point fingers at anybody who we want to. It doesn't make it any less true or any more true. It just means that, you know, as a whole, eventually at some point, the bickering has to stop. And a conversation really needs to be had about, like, who really owns the game. Is it the companies who hold the licenses and all the properties to it and have all the legalese around what they can produce? Or is it the players who are actually in control? Because at the end of the day, it's all imagination. Just some thoughts to go by. But in the meantime, hopefully I can find my freaking notes for my book so I can keep going on my book. Otherwise, I'm going to have to write a new set of notes, and we're going to be doing a little bit of brainstorming while we're here. Which, well, not a terrible thing, is not exactly what I wanted to be doing for this. I would rather be, you know, focused on actually putting words on page and making progress, because I have not made progress on this book in a while, and it is upsetting me greatly. Also, I'm a monster who doesn't care about drinking flat soda. I just like my cans to be empty. So I will just throw things down my gullet. I am a monster. I am a beast. I am the sin who sits at your feet. Well, you get to see the messy desk and everything and enjoy that experience. Hopefully I can find this damn thing. I know my notes are around here somewhere because I wrote them relatively recently in terms of what I was doing to move forward in my book. I'm hoping they're around here. Maybe I just stuck them in a folder that's like tucked away somewhere. This does happen on occasion. It's in here. There's a pencil lead in there. That's cool. That could be useful later. Much paper, all stuffed away in the corners and breaches of everywhere I go. But it's not the paperwork I need. Something better. Can't you let me have something better? I'll have a request. Just want to be able to read my thing. Ooh, hey, but that might be. But not. Okay, that actually is where I left off last. So do I have other paper? Well, it's not particularly the paperwork that I needed. However, I did find a bunch of Battletech sheets for aerospace fighters from one of the recent battles from the RPG that I did with my Tuesday group. There's a story about that, and maybe I'll tell it eventually. Alright. Okay. Okay, so this is some of the notes. These are some of them. More page. Is that another thing I will need? Another one I'll need. More mechs. Wait for now. For another thing. Oh look. Homework. Long ago. Books. Empty journal. This beautiful empty journal there that I need to, from my mother, who kind enough to give me a book. journal. Another spell journal. LARPing. I do that on occasion. At least I used to. I wish I could go back. At least. Again. However, well, time or the relevance. Oh, another one of my spell books. Different one. Basically empty. I just need to take out 2 pages from it. So much trash underneath here. Loose paperwork. Horrible. Awful. Got this all to myself. I'm the worst. Look, another book. Fucking one. I don't even know. Right over here. Out of those. Still have stuff in them. Oh. I'll put you here too. Most of you can go back. Any of the oh my gosh. I'm just such a disorganized lad. So much disorganization. I'm just a humble squire of books. I strewn about everywhere. Alright, got like a half a dozen books here. Got some sticky notes, some pens, pencils, other things amongst all of us to be able to do stuff with. Okay, so for you, we're gonna set you off to the side here because don't need you at the moment. This is an empty book. We'll set you off to the side because we don't need you. You know what? Oh, I should put you away. I've got enough books here. Alright, 2 empties off to the side. Paper pad. Sketch journal. Notes journal. Another notes journal. Okay. Start to put myself together here and get back into writing mode. Haven't done that in a fucking while. It's always awful when you first get started and you're thinking to yourself like, oh, what am I supposed to be doing here? So what's the thought? Like, don't I have an idea of what, like, I'm supposed to be writing in this book? Like, yeah, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Doesn't mean I do it necessarily correctly. Okay, I've got my timeline set up here. So we'll keep those handy. The other thing is that, like, I also have, like, physically written this book most of the way. This is because... Here, let me pull something up in the meantime. Get some restream chat up. Doubt anybody's gonna be around and showing up, but, you know... You never know. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. While we're hanging out, feel free to ask me any questions you'd like. In the meantime, I will try to get to them as soon as I can. But no guarantee, but I will try. Chapter 3 in here. Oh man, that goes all the way past into some other notes. Chapter 2's in the back here. Some other defining notes for sketch stuff. Okay. Some outline stuff. Okay. Outline. 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 More outline. Some outline notes for some other things. Outline. 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 Let's see, is there another outline? Yes, that's an outline. That's just some like YouTube stuff that I was working on for a script. So I write all my scripts physically because I'm fucking insane. And I physically write everything I do for the most part. Okay, that's an important outline. I need that. That's an important outline. Important outline. Another important outline. Okay, and that's the physical writing itself. Okay, so this is all the outlines. Maybe I'll stick those somewhere safe eventually. Maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. Eventually. Maybe. Okay. A lot of this is physical notes of other things. Let's see. That I'm gonna need. I need some notes here. So these are all structure notes that I need for certain things. Okay, that's all of that. And yes, I use notebooks. I use pens, I use paper, pencils, all kinds of other things. I am disgustingly disorganized all the fucking time. It is the worst thing ever. But maybe at some point I'll get to some writing here. Give you a little description of what's going on. Go fuck yourself, pages. You can tear off anything important at least. I'm a monster and I just tear all the edges off. All jagged and horrible like. I'm usually much nicer about it, but I just want to get like to a point where I can get stuff done. Okay, none of this is useful. Okay, so I can just go forward in the book. And now we've got blank pages to work with. Sweet. Sweet Caroline. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, there are pages in the back. What are you? That is also an important outline. That's actually the current outline that I need for what we're working on at the moment for this particular section of pages. Okay. Oh, so much writing in here. Okay. Alright, so that's where this all has to go. Alright. And I think this is the last page I worked on. Yeah. So you're gonna go in between here. So one of the other things of note here is that, in particular, I'm left-handed, so notebooks are, like, the worst thing for me. Because most people write and the spine of the book is going to be on the left. Most of you would write with a right hand, so this wouldn't bother you. But for me, I like edge on the spine the whole time as I'm doing this, so it is a bit irritating. So sometimes what I will do is I will write backwards in a book and in journal. So most of my journals go inward from both directions. And if you've ever seen my notes or ever end up witnessing the travesty that is my notes, you would say that I am insane, because I am a little bit how I do things. But that's just how it goes. I do not need that one at the moment. I will put that away for the campaign stuff. The Tuesday group. Flat pad. Sweet. There we go. Gone a direction. Aside from insane. So this is definitely end of a paragraph right here, so we're just going to continue onward down into a new paragraph. And start off the section of what we will be doing. Okay, first and foremost, let's consult the beginning of our notes here. We want the ones inside the yellow journal for the outlines. So we're in about chapter 3 of this book so far. We're following a narrative event at the moment where our main character is in an in-between roads just before we're going to hit a time skip at some point. One of the biggest things that I've been trying to wrap my head around while I've been doing this is how to effectively write a time skip. Because I get angry at people who write shitty time skips. Until I've actually tried to do it now. And I can say it's a lot harder than it looks in terms of effectively conveying information to everybody about the change in a scenario over a course of time and giving as many relevant details without having to essentially tell you everything. What I don't want to end up have happen is me say something in a later part of a chapter or even in another book potentially, and then be a reference back to this time skip and that information not be there in terms of relevancy. So what I'm trying to make sure I do is I cover all my bases going forward. My outline should extend much further outward in terms of what is going to be covered, but I want to make sure that it is at least either generic enough to fit it or specific enough to reference. At least where I know I will make references. So one of the things we have to cover here in particular is where we are now versus where we were before. Because our particular leaders have made their way deeper and deeper into jungle territory, into the wildlands of a unforgiving planet for the most part. We want to represent that in some way, shape, or form. This travel time will still be covered up to the point where they actually make it to the facility and begin to set up their long-term operations. This is a Battletech book, so for any context that you'd like to know about that, it's having to do with an invasion of a planet by Capellan forces into the Free Worlds League. This is occurring in the third Succession War, fourth Succession War era. So low levels of technology, not mass operations like this normally commenced. It is a significant push of force, but it is, from both sides, very green individuals to the state of what is war. And what is permissible in war and what is not permissible in war, in both aspects. And how dirty and nasty it kind of gets as things evolve over time, especially as people get older, they get wiser, and they get angrier. So to keep that in perspective, we need to review what we're doing here now. Our main character is Regulus McCormick. People call him Reggie. He, at the moment, is the commander of these rebel forces, and he is conducting a survey that he wants done. Alright, so need to clean off my glasses. They are very dirty. Let me make sure that I'm also spelling people's names correctly. One of the other things I've been meaning to do for a while, and I will get to this eventually, is I need to make a list of all my character names every time I make one and like actually put them next to me so I know like who these people are. Otherwise I have to keep referencing back to my own spellings, which can be pretty god-awful sometimes. As somebody who's incredibly dyslexic. And just generally not the greatest at, yeah, spelling. Where did her fucking name go? Lydia. But it's like a different kind of Lydia that I spelled. It's not the, Lilda. See? I know I spelled it wrong. Yeah. Lydia. Maybe if I could spell, this would be helpful. As you can see, I am not the greatest at spelling. I really suck at it. I mix a lot of stuff up. I don't have the greatest grammar and everything. I'm trying to get a sense of conversational feel. It's also the sense of being able to hear the voices in my head. I know, hearing the voices in my head. But listening to, like, the way the characters interact with each other and how their dialogue should really sound. Okay. Alright, we got a little bit of somewhere. I've at least started us on progress going forward. That's at least something. Oh boy. It's hard to write for books. It's very hard to write for books. Because even as I'm sitting here now and I'm rolling through the conversations of what I'm thinking of as we continue forward, it's tough to just get what I wrote right there. I just wanted to get this. That was what? I don't even know how many words necessarily. Like, it's just a few sentences on a page. But it's progress. And so, you know, every time I come on here and I'm gonna just do some just streaming, I will attempt to get more and more of this book done and, you know, slowly fill out my way through it. In the meantime, however, we can change the date on this because it's no longer 2023, which was the last time I worked on this book. Oh man. It is the 14th, but it is March 3rd. So, yeah, we've got a little bit of work done. I'm happy with that. Good start. We'll keep going with it. Thank you for anybody who joined us. But we're gonna head off for now. Have a good one.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons systems online. All systems nominal.